the twin shadows of Meridian, Merrehope, and the F.W. Williams House, Meridian, Mississippi. A place where history still breathes through the cracks of old brick streets, and where the air itself feels older than the town that bears its name. Long before the modern skyline and steady hum of traffic, Meridian was a place of resilience, a city rebuilt from the ashes of the Civil War, a crossroads for travelers, dreamers, and some say restless spirits. Among its oldest survivors stand two historic homes, Merrehope and the F.W. Williams House, both relics of the 19th century, both restored, preserved, and haunted in their own ways. They sit only a short distance apart, like two silent sentinels watching over each other across the year. But if the walls of those homes could speak, their stories might not whisper, they might warn. I once heard a story from a local woman, someone who had reason to step inside both houses. She wasn't seeking ghosts or chasing thrill. She was simply attending an event and visiting during a period of renovation. But her experience left her shaken, and to this day she refuses to return to either home. It began at Merrehope. The house is known for its grace, a mansion of pale brick and tall columns, surviving when most of Meridian burned to the ground. It's beautiful in daylight, but as she told it, something changes when you're inside, alone. The first thing she noticed wasn't a sound, it was a feeling, a faint heaviness pressing down on her chest. Like the house itself was aware of her and silently questioning why she was there. She moved from room to room, dust catching the light in soft, golden beams. The air felt still, almost reverent, until it wasn't. Somewhere upstairs, she heard movement. Not the creak of old wood, but the deliberate rhythm of footsteps. Slow, distinct, like someone walking just out of sight. She called out, thinking another worker was there, but no one answered. When she climbed the staircase, each step answered with a groan underfoot, but the sound above her stopped. She reached the landing and waited. Only the stillness replied. And then, from one of the side rooms, a door eased shut on its own, quiet, almost polite. But yet, in that silence, it felt like the loudest thing she'd ever heard. That's when she said the mood of the place changed. It wasn't just old or heavy, it was aware, like being watched by something that wasn't supposed to see you. Just before they left, she was in the main corridor hallway when a gust of air rushed past her and the lights went out by themselves, as if someone there had blown out candles. But these lights were electric. She screamed for her friend, warning her as she ran to the door, making her way outside. She then saw an apparition of an older woman, carrying a candle through the far left side bedroom window. Then the woman passed through walls, making her way to the opposite side of the home, always looking outside the window, as if she was waiting on someone to arrive. The witness left Merrehope with the feeling that someone or something was there and had been there for decades, waiting for someone to return home. Sometime later, she visited the F.W. Williams house, smaller, darker, and in her words, different in a way I still can't describe. If Merrehope felt sad, the Williams house felt angry. She stepped inside just long enough to deliver materials to one of the workers. The first thing she noticed was the temperature noticeably colder, though it was summer outside. The second thing was the silence. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Then From deeper in the house, a door slammed. Not a gust of wind, not a careless worker, just a sudden, violent sound that echoed through the hallway. She froze. The floor beneath her feet trembled slightly. And then, from the corner of her ear, she heard something else. A low, dragging scrape like furniture being moved across the floor upstairs. She called out again. No answer. The sound stopped, and that same oppressive weight she'd felt before returned, only heavier, meaner. She said she couldn't explain it, but the moment she turned to leave, the sense of being unwelcome became overwhelming. It wasn't fear of ghosts, or creaks, or shadows. It was a presence that wanted her gone. And so she went, walking briskly out the front door, never once looking back. Later, when she tried to describe what she felt, her voice trembled. She said it wasn't haunted like in movies. It felt evil, and it knew I didn't belong there. Over the years, stories like hers have echoed through Meridian. Visitors speaking of strange noises, cold spots, doors moving in their room. Merrehope, grand and elegant, carries an air of sorrow, a remnant of loss, perhaps, from the war that nearly destroyed it. While the Williams house, smaller, more private, seems to hold on to something darker, something that doesn't wish to be understood. Locals sometimes call them sisters, but if that's true, they are sisters who carry very different memories. I've walked through enough old houses to know not every silence is empty. Sometimes silence listens. Sometimes it remembers. The woman who stepped inside Merrehope and the Williams house simply crossed paths with something she didn't understand and maybe wasn't meant to. And when I think about her story, I can't help but wonder if the energy that lingers there isn't just haunting the homes, but guarding them. Meridian's past is rich, beautiful, and haunted by design. Its stories are stitched into its soil, its tragedy and triumph alike preserved behind glass and plaster. But these two houses, Merrehope and the F.W. Williams house, stand as reminders that history is never truly gone. It waits quietly, like a reflection in dark water, ready to surface when the light fades just enough. And perhaps that's why those who enter sometimes feel the way she did. Because some houses don't forget who's walked their halls. Some don't forgive. And in places like Meridian, Mississippi, the past never really dies. It just learns how to wait. The end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. These help the channel immensely and allow us to continue to bring you stories like this one. This is Cryptic Sense.